Alrighty, I've got a pile of dead resistors here, so just sort of show you some of these and how bad some of them are drifted. I've probably picked the worst ones out of the bunch actually, but the majority of them are pretty bad. Well, in my opinion, some of them are drifted quite bad. Some of them are probably still okay. These ones here are probably a bit better, but again, I was trying to locate a difficult problem, so I ended up just blanket replacing some of these ones anyway. Some of these still checked okay, but I just basically just for preventive maintenance and just peace of mind that they've been done, I changed them. So we have a 15k here, and what have we got? We've got 23. So that's one there. Next one is a 4.7 meg. Okay. Well, there we go. We've got almost a 10 meg, an 8 meg resistor there, or 7 meg resistor. Okay, there's that one there. We've got a 330k. There, almost well over half a meg, almost, almost sort of pushing a 700k sort of thing, 750k. Next one is a 220k. So yeah, nearly 300k. 100. 125k almost. So yeah, you can generally see that, get the general gist that some of the resistors are quite sort of drifted way out of spec. Got a 120k here. There, you've got a 180k resistor there for you. There you go, 180k resistor will work fine as a 180k. So you can put it in, you can replace it in your other black and white TV, and yeah, 6 months down the line, hell, something's gone wrong, well, that's gone up to half a meg, so there you go. What's this 270 ohm, this one here? 320. I think that was the cathode bypass cap in the audio stage, I think, from memory. What's this one here? I think that might be 8.2k, I think it is. It looks like grey, red to me. I think that's... yeah, I think it was. So there's 13k, so... a 270k, 360k, and what have we got here? Finally another 150k, 180. So yeah, so yeah, basically, yeah, pretty much sums it up in regards to the bloody nasty resistors that this thing had in it. I know I've repeated myself about that, but yeah, so all these bits changed. Hopefully it stays reliable and keeps going. So what I'm going to do now is show you the other problem that it had in regards to the fault that nearly drove me up the wall and down again. Okay, after about half an hour or so, you'd be sitting there watching it, and then all of a sudden the brightness would start flickering, jumping, varying, and the picture would get quite sort of washed out looking, then it would come right, and I thought, oh yeah, it's probably another one of those resistors or a capacitor or something that's dying. So but I thought, well, because it's temperature related, it could be a valve. So I went through and changed the valves, mainly the brightness side of things. So because it's tied by the AGC, changed the ECL86, change these EC84. No. So okay, obviously must be a component breaking down under load. So got the can of freeze and started freezing everything around here, and the fault wouldn't go away. I'm thinking to myself, well, that's really strange. You could heat the board, and the thing would go, the bright would flick, and the picture would, at one point there, it actually lost sync a couple of times. It just completely washed out. I'm thinking to myself, now that's, if it's getting washed out, if it's going like that, it's something in the video circuitry or something in the AGC. Something's obviously just causing the AGC to go berserk, or or just it's not enough AGC, and it's just driving. It's just something obviously is causing it to really play up. So I just started replacing all the resistors. I just ended up started changing all these resistors here, these caps. That's part of just one of the caps in the AGC circuit, and I thought, well, hey, maybe it's faulty, so I changed it, and no, the problem still persisted. Now, before I started changing all the resistors, I did scope a few areas. The 330 ohm, that comes from the video detector. That's the grid of the EC84, and the video signal was varying there, like it was jumping up. You can see the thing varying in size. If I lifted that off, took that off, and so basically remove the video signal drive from the tube, from the video amplifier tube, bang! It would basically, the video signal would be nice and stable and a nice decent level, and it'd be stable as. The moment I reconnected it, bang, the problem would start up again. I sort of narrowed it down to something down here. I actually thought it could have been the valve socket, because I have had one radio set some years ago. The valve socket had was actually conducting between the pins, and it was causing some weird problem. So I took it off and heated it and freezed it while measuring between the pins with the fluke, and no, it wasn't that. So I put it back in, and so I started going down here, and I found heating this area really made it go nuts, and the AGC voltage jumped all over the place, and it was really. But I also noticed too that the HT around here was dropping too. Like I noticed it was varying about a volt. I'm thinking, well, something was obviously pulling the supply rail down a wee bit. So there has to be a component breaking down. And I thought, well, I've done everything. And well, all it left really was the AGC pot. So I didn't have a pot the same size. I just had another 100k in the drill, which I just tacked in there. Problem still there. So I was starting to clutch the drill, thinking, well, is it something from this? So I scoped the pulses and the waveforms and coming from the LOPD into this area. No, everything as per the diagrams, everything was fine, everything was hunky-dory. But did notice this one here with a 15, I did notice that when it was playing up, that was varying slightly, just ever so slightly. I'm thinking, well, something must be pulling it down. There has to be something that's breaking down. Yeah, so a bit more head scratching. I sort of did a bit more. I sort of actually ended up rechecking some of the components I put in, and I pulled a few of these new resistors out to make sure they weren't faulty, or I made sure I put the right ones in as well. But there was one capacitor which had been changed by a previous serviceman or a technician, was sitting right there. This one here, cathode bypass. Yeah, that cap had been changed in the past. It was a nice, well, looked to be a, you got it over here actually. This is the offending article here. This modern polyester yellow 0.047 at 1200 volts. Now I pulled this out and I said to myself, this surely this can't be faulty. Surely this thing this thing cannot be faulty. That's just, yeah, okay. So, so I said to myself, surely that thing can't be faulty. So I put it in the cap tester. Just to diversify a wee bit here. This is a Sansui A555. I'm doing it for a customer. Doing a capacitor and transistorectomy there. Some of you Sansui enthusiasts might sort of be familiar with this model. These are a nice model. These early 70s design and complementary output stage. Beautiful amplifier. Sounds so nice. So it keeps 0.04 through. Okay, well it's a couple of microfarad down. It's down a wee bit, but no, that shouldn't really affect it. But I changed the capacitor, and hey presto, fault disappeared. I was sort of a bit dumbfounded. I was like, oh, far out. So never trust new or so-called replaced components. Again, I've never had one of these go crook, but yeah, this thing was definitely crook. And I actually found that when I put it in my bridge, which is what it was connected to, I tried to actually duplicate the fault before. When I put it in my bridge and wound the voltage up, yeah, the milliamp meter started to bounce and jump around once I started to wind up to 600 odd volts. Yeah, it really started to play up. So yeah, obviously it was just breaking down under load. So that's sort of, yeah, that fault kind of drove me nuts, because yeah, you know, especially when you change all that, and there's still a problem, and you know, and the one capacitor, the one thing I kept something in my gut said, change that cap, just change it. No, it's new, it's fine. But well, there you go. So yeah, that was a bloody good fault, I can tell you that now. Spent quite a few evenings actually tracing that one down. So yeah, well, enough of my waffling. I've certainly done a fair bit of that tonight, especially for someone who's only done this for the first time. I will power the setup and show you it going.